Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears! This is the Disc 1 finale at long last. Episode 93, and we've hit Disc 1 finale. There's 2 discs to this game! How is Disc 1 so long? Jesus Christ. Anyway, last time, Faye, id, same person. Lots of Freudian talk, psychology. Yeah, if you don't like that, we're about to move beyond that. So, this time, let's figure out why this woman makes Faye resistant to id's control. Must eliminate. What don't you understand? And you don't need to. I'll eventually get to you. Be seeing ya. And Faye awakens, or to an extent. That would be the time where Satan and Billy and Bart were able to get him down, I guess. Billy and Bart were not in the room for that scene. Exactly. I don't know why he's comparing this to a computer. His computer metaphor is not all that great. Because he's saying constructing a mock personality on top of the compatible portion of an OS. Basically, it's like dual boot. That makes a little more sense. It's like your machine is running Windows 7, but you have this little tiny section that runs Windows 8 that you can jump onto if you so desire. But the main system's running Windows 7. Or maybe I should talk about Windows 10, which I know nothing about. It's the only OS I haven't used since 95. Whatever. I may look at it later, once they get rid of all the bugs. That'll never happen, it's Windows, but we can dream. So yeah, id is kind of the dominant personality in a sense, but at the same time, even though the surface Faye is kind of a subordinate, he's also preventing id from having complete control, which means he's also a dominant, which is confusing until later when we finally get through all of this stuff. But that's much later into Disc 2. We won't deal with a lot of that today. Yeah, so this is why Faye is kind of stupid in a way, and I've kind of talked about this throughout. He's not very bright, he doesn't understand situations very well, he doesn't know fully how to cope with sudden emotional situations. Ellie knows him better than anyone else. So, he's kind of like that a lot of the time. Remember when he got mad at the machine that fried, I think his name was Samson? As they were trying to move through Solaris, he just went and kicked it for no reason. You're not going to be able to do anything like that. He knows this, but he doesn't know how to deal with the emotional consequences of the situation. I don't know if it's temporary personality, but the present Faye is one personality, and it was constructed kind of on top of id's, so it's, I don't know. Faye is at a lower hierarchy in like the levels of personalities, but yeah, that's why Faye has no memory, but at the same time, he also seems to exert some kind of control. So apparently Faye's mental energy is able to keep id at bay until, it's in a weakened state, pretty much when he gets upset, or attacked, or anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense from the psychological concept that we understand. So there's obviously a third personality. Id calls this existence the coward. Yeah, so they say it may be. I'll tell you, it is. The original personality of Faye is this coward character they haven't really talked about yet. But we have a nice scene later on that will explain a lot of this, and I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on it now, because I don't have a lot of time, and I want to get through all the events in this episode without making it too long. Yeah, he resents the coward and fears it. It's the dominant personality, but it also allows it to intervene when Faye is the surface Faye, which is the personality from 3 years onward. Kind of keeps him in control, right? That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but you understand what I'm talking about. I get distracted easily. Faye's fundamental personality doesn't come out. Oh, okay. Nothing's for sure. Faye can be himself. So basically, get him out of the front lines and hide him on an island somewhere. This is true. Yeah, like Lahan, which explains why he didn't awaken into id at any time in the 3 years that he was there until it got attacked. Lahan? Grahf's second advent. They don't really explain this very well, and we're not supposed to understand it yet. They'll go into explaining that later too. Seal him up? Why would we wait for a wise man? I guess he's kind of like a good tactician for the queen, but why do you place so much importance on him? And who is he anyway? Oh, he was recruited after Khan's death. Well, that's weird. Wonder who he could be. Hold on. What's this Grahf's second advent? So Grahf has been alive since the Diabolus War, meaning he's over 500 years old. I don't know what exactly this day of collapse is, but anyway, I could guess, but no, that's probably wrong. Either way, he was trying to destroy the world, and that power within id is far too similar to Grahf. Why not? And of course, the answer is freeze him in carbonite. Yes, carbonite. Yes, Han Solo. Yes, Chewie. Yes, Star Wars reference. We get it. He did do that. He is incredibly powerful. Oh, so Krellian seems to be involved in that as well. But we don't know much about it. Yeah, so this is the one line we get about Dominia being the last surviving member of her country. As her country, of course, is Elru, and there's no one left of it because it was annihilated. Now, Solaris was purging that city, and it was done through the use of id, which kind of would explain Grahf's kind of connection to Solaris. Yeah, id not really controllable. He took down both sides. Yeah, so even though we found this information out before, Rico and Bart weren't there before. Bart might have been, but Rico was not. And so now we're all starting to see that the risks... So we're just going to seal our main character up. Really? Sorry if I'm going through any of the dialogue a little quickly today. I do want to get as much of this through up until the end of the disc, and I don't want it to be a half-an-hour episode. Who would have thought, anyway? There's a lot of references throughout the game. Grahf wanting to awaken Faye, literally, instead of figuratively, and all of these other things. Grahf has been there probing and poking, trying to get this to happen all along. But apparently after the confrontation with Ellie in the last episode, he was able to pass out and then reawaken as Faye, the one we know. The second advent of Grahf. So that's kind of what they're talking about. He's the second advent of Grahf because its power is so similar to him. I guess that explains somewhat of that line. And there we get that information. I couldn't remember when they dropped that on us. But yeah, Lacan, the guy who looks like Faye from 500 years ago, you know, he used to be Lacan and became Grahf, which would explain, because they look similar, why Id's power and Graf's power are so similar. He did say that toward the beginning of the game. Actually, I think on their second confrontation. Hey! Again, we get more kind of character development for the relationship kind of indirectly. They don't just have a scene where, oh, you know, we're all happy now and we're going to have, you know, be cute and happy together, blah, blah, blah. It kind of comes out through the plot, which I really like. Yeah, that's right. She just lost both her parents. You got to think how strong mentally she would have to be to lose both of her parents in 5 minutes and still have the emotional kind of cohesion to want to help Faye. I can understand her wanting to because she would have no one left if he was dead or anything, and why she was so kind of open to, you know, even sacrificing herself to kind of keep him alive, because she's got nothing. The fact that she was even selectable for the battle against Grahf and the Executioner is nuts. She really shouldn't have been. But, oh well. I don't really think we needed something like they did with Dagger in Final Fantasy IX, where she becomes half useless in battle. But at the same time, kind of removing her from battle for, you know, a couple hours of gameplay probably would have been a good idea and may have been the plan. But we'll get into that on disc 2. And the chair. Everybody's been waiting for the chair. We all know it. Because... and they're both by themselves at this point. They both have nowhere else to go and no one left. That's family. The only family they have are each other and their friends. And friends are friends, but you definitely need to have that other level, right? What's this scene for? Well, that gets explained again later. I say that so much in this LP. This scene is going on a little longer than I thought. I thought I broke up the episodes in good spots. Usually when I do a disc finale, I usually record the whole thing and then cut at individual points. But I wanted to have a proper intro and ending. Oh, come on, Satan. Just let us go. Really? You were in agreement with everyone that Faye was going to be locked. Again, he's such a great actor. He just blew the wool over everyone's eyes, and he's already gotten them all ready to go because he already figured out that this was going to happen. Satan, you may have been a bastard for a while, but you're a fucking awesome bastard. But yeah, her gear kind of has a hole through its stomach, so she can't use it. The one from Shavat. And Faye still kind of representing, oh, I can't take that without permission, even though it's kind of been made apparent that the only one who can pilot this gear is Ellie. And they've also said that she won't. And there it's reiterated. Nobody else can operate it. But again, she won't. Why won't you ever ride it? What's wrong with it? Why not? And who's that? It's not everyone. It's Margie and Bart and Billy. Now, I kind of have a problem with this scene because Bart apologizes, Billy apologizes, Margie apologizes, but no one else came. Now, I can understand them taking longer to, but from what I recall, I don't think they ever do apologize. Anyway, they both left in Weltall. Where'd Faye go? Now, unfortunately, it's only a little while ago, but Faye actually promised not to leave Esmeralda. So that kind of hurts there. You could kind of, if there was a little more emotion in her face, you could kind of see her pain. But unfortunately, we don't get that. I forgot about this scene. This is going to run long, isn't it? Yeah, they've kind of figured out what Emperor Cain and Satan have done here. Yeah, see, these people who were the Gazelle Ministry, who were all about the pure blood before, you can kind of see their minds being warped by being only data, because now they see that as the ideal. It's no longer the pure blood, it's the pure logic, the pure intellect. Regardless, you still want to get your human bodies back, even if they are stolen. Very true. They're talking about id here. The key. Use the key. Of course they're feeling the pressure. They're afraid of Faye before id fully awakened like that. What is Cain's situation? Now, here's a bit of an explanation. Krellian, at least at this point, kind of controls these life extension treatments that have happened through the Soylent system for Cain and the Gazelle Ministry, and considering the fact that he's over 500 years old, potentially himself as well. I wouldn't know. Who's he? Are you talking about it again? He is the contact. So yes, Faye or id. There is a possibility he may not transmigrate. What are you talking about? It's an organism composed of multiple generations. It's a matter of probability. We can't fail a second time. You've sent the trash to deal with him. He couldn't defend the city. Yeah, these guys, I guess, were never in the city. They're in that big round fishbowl-like thing that we saw multiple times throughout the game, specifically in Aquavie, and that was docked when the Executioner, Miang, came off in Kislev, in that scene as well. That's where they've been the entire time. Yes, this time he has the Anima Relic. It's been aligned with his gear, and he's properly formed with it. He should be able to use his full power. What do you mean, one of you? All feelings of human emotion. All I need is her. Wait a minute. Who's her? And that is an emotion. Is that a blunder? No, that's a contradiction. You're irritating. Do you wish to cease your existence? That's kind of matter-of-fact and bluntly stated. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, those guys, little weird. Unfortunately, this episode's going way longer than I was expecting it to. I kind of figured we'd be done about now, but no, we have some more stuff. Yeah, bring her here. She's an important woman to me. So I guess Krellian's referring to Ellie. That's who he needs. That's the her. Ramses. This is... Your gear and the anima relic have been aligned. This is now an Omni gear. Again and again. I believe it's because of the difference in the performance of the gears. Well, I'm sure that's part of it. 100% of its abilities. Then you truly are trash. Will you go? He's already going. Be careful. Miang still believes in him. That's pretty cool. What a loathsome name. He ruined it. What did he ruin? Ah, we see somebody in the distance. It's him. Oh, that's kind of abrupt. What kind of gear is that? Well, that's an Omni gear. According to the readings, it's clearly different from the one Bart's using or the one in Shabbat. Perfect gear. I don't know why they're calling it the perfect gear, but I don't know if it's the one that was sitting that we saw in Krellian's lab. I don't think so, mainly because I know what it looks like. Yeah, Omni gears are controlled by mental waves. We know how unstable Ramses is mentally. So, complete synchronization. So they've basically aligned it with crazy. That's a problem. They're catching you very quickly. And time for the final confrontation. Yes, it is. I'm sure you could. You have an Omni gear and I don't. Yeah, that one doesn't look like the gear that we saw in Krellian's lab, so I don't think it is. Anyway, it's boss time. Well, kinda, sorta, maybe. Not exactly. That's a strange looking gear. Anyway, final warning, hand her over. I refuse. Obviously. Stop boasting, you haven't beaten me once. No holds barred. Steel cage match. Ow. Ow. Oi, how much HP did that take off? What poor form? What's wrong? Yes, to avoid being too kind of out there with the references, they went straight to the point. His gear is called Vendetta. Yes, that's a way too blunt a reference, but it's still kind of funny. Now, the only problem here is what's going to happen if it awakens inside the gear and Ellie's in there. No, you won't. Kind of too late. He's kind of drunk with power at this point. No, he can't hear anything. Yeah, we should probably get out of here. Ow. 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 And there's a little Kamehameha wave. I don't know why she screams more than everybody else, even when, obviously, Faye was screaming there as well. Huh? Oops! Oh well, to hell with Krellian's orders. Yeah, he's gone a little drunk with power and a little bit more insane than he already was. Well, that sucks. You'll save her. How? She actually has dripping blood here. Now pay attention to the bottom of the screen, to the left of the tree. Yes. There he is. Grahf or Lacan in kind of a ghost form. So he's kind of viewing this scene. Maybe not physically, maybe not something he knows about. Maybe it's just there as a reference. And that reference will be explained on Disc 2. So, that's all for Disc 1. Man, this takes forever, so... Fast. No. Save over... that one. There we go. Yes, I have my Chrono Cross memory card in there because I was working on that way long ago. It's not coming anytime soon. I still haven't done Chrono Trigger. Did you just freeze on me? There we go. And now we can insert Disc 2. So like I said, yeah, that's the finale. Now, depending on how things go, I will try to get Disc 1 or Disc 2, the first episode from that up probably tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I've got something kind of going on that I will have talked about by the time this episode gets uploaded, but I haven't kind of made that choice yet, or I haven't done what I'm going to talk about. I'll release an update video before about explaining it. But anyway, that's all for Disc 1, and I'll see you on Disc 2.